F1 is at a pivotal moment. The recent announcements of new street circuits joining the calendar and the potential loss of classic tracks have sparked fury among drivers and teams. Here we'll analyze these developments, the reactions they've provoked, and what it means for the future of the sport. Formula One has experienced immense growth recently. New races in glamorous locations like Miami, Las Vegas, and Arabia are bringing money, viewers, and attention. But this expansion of street circuits and sprint formats has come at a cost: the integrity of the sport itself. Legendary venues face removal while drivers struggle to showcase their skills on tight, temporary tracks. After the announcement that Barcelona may lose its place on the 2026 calendar, replaced by a street race in Madrid, emotions have reached boiling point. Barcelona replacement. The Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya has hosted the Spanish Grand Prix every year since 1991. With its high-speed corners, tricky chicanes, and variation of low, medium, and high downforce sectors, it represents the perfect all-around test of car and driver. Its demanding variable speed nature exposes weaknesses in machinery, rewarding those who master the delicate balances of downforce trimming. The team knows its intricacies intimately, its unforgiving exposing character weeding out flaws in early season packages. Success here unlocks the DNA of a truly rounded car. Upgrades that were trialed respond to the most well-rounded examination in aerodynamics, stability under braking, suspension hooks, and power delivery. It's no wonder every outfit uses Barcelona as its primary testing venue, mimicking challenges of iconic venues like Silverstone, Monza, and Interlagos. Mastering Catalunya unlocks the keys to mastering them all. But despite the circuit's prestige as the ultimate proving ground, speculation suggests it will be dropped from the 2026 calendar in favor of a semi-permanent street track around Madrid's exhibition center. Promoters believe the capital's cosmopolitan profile and vast population will draw substantially larger crowds and revenue. But for the drivers and engineers, losing such a complete, trusted circuit severs Formula One's umbilical cord. Driver reactions. The driver response to losing Barcelona is unequivocal. United fury across the grid. For Fernando Alonso, actually one of the most demanding permanent circuits cuts deep. Having mastered his craft at Catalunya from teenage years, he argues it and other high-speed classics like Silverstone, Suzuka, and Interlagos represent the pinnacle of driving challenge. He questions outright whether temporary street exhibitions even suit the philosophy and mechanics of Formula One machinery. Reigning champion Max Verstappen echoed Alonso's sentiment, claiming drivers will always favor purpose-built, bespoke tracks offering pure excitement. In his view, the sport now prioritizes superficial spectacle to entertain newcomers rather than meaningful competition to reward driving excellence. He believes fans drawn by garish razzmatazz offer nothing to safeguard F1's future. Both feel modern F1's cars are designed specifically for sweeping permanent layouts, optimized for precision through fast kinks like Maggott's Beckett's or Suzuka's S's. Wrestling 1,000 bph machines through narrow, uneven downtown alleyways tests little skill and risks unacceptable dangers. After lifetimes mastering legacy tracks, seeing the pinnacle of motorsport racing past Caesar's Palace is not what they signed up for. United by anger, all generations of Formula One racers coalesce against what they see as Liberty Media dismantling their sport brick by brick. Resistance is hardening. The drivers now present a fortified front against further encroachment. Their ultimatum is clear: reverse course or risk open revolt. Careers dedicated to the sport compel them to intervene before Formula One descends past the point of no return. Sprint race concerns. Alongside the influx of street races, the expanded sprint format draws equal driver scorn. Intended to spice up Grand Prix weekends, many prove the opposite: minor revisions to order rather than wheel-to-wheel entertainment. Verstappen slammed them as chronically underwhelming and unworthy of the rewards they provide, a cheap knockoff of racing itself. Other drivers echoed his disdain. Pierre Gasly said they feel like elongated qualifying sessions, while Magnussen argued the lack of strategy variation made them predictable and dull. The rushed 60-minute practice into sudden qualifying format is also overwhelming engineers. With complex 2022 regulations still in relative infancy, crucial setup tweaks between sessions are impossible. Constant revisions force compromised packages, eliminating room for error. The compressed stress is exhausting personnel and drivers alike. Rising superstar Charles Leclerc revealed the intense 3-day programs leave him physically drained, even with his supreme fitness. Others described mental exhaustion battling car deficiencies they have no power to resolve under the sprint weekend cloud. Team worries. With staff exhausted and upgrades untested, the team boss has echoed concerns. Christian Horner asserted sprints must include action to justify existence, advocating reversed grids or points incentives. McLaren and Red Bull racers described intense pressure cook programs, denying the engineering scrutiny required. Formula One cars require extensive data analysis. Collateral formats leave no margin for error. After regulatory resets, appropriate evaluation periods are essential. Condensed weekends remove that lifeline. The prospect of losing Barcelona's benchmarks compounds fears, uncertainty over upgrades, devastating for smaller teams with fewer resources. Resource disparity was already a core issue among constructors. Despite budget caps aiming to increase competition, top teams still benefit from major infrastructure advantages. Wind tunnels, driving simulators, and rapid manufacturing capabilities mean they can test parts more rapidly and deploy upgrades earlier. Meanwhile, former backmarkers like Haas and Williams lack comparative tools to ever catch up. Adding sprint formats only amplifies this divide. With 3 practice sessions condensed into 1, poorer teams lose vital track testing, and without time to evaluate new components fully between events, they risk total race weekend failure by trialing them. Meanwhile, wealthy Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull absorb these risks. For tail-end teams, Formula One was already survival of the richest. Sprints stand to make snatched points ever more distant amidst financial realities. The crux of the issue. While promoters chase hosting fees from glamorous new venues, budget caps demand sustainability. Contradictory intents tearing at Formula One's fabric. The very identity drivers built careers upon erodes as iconic corners and challenges disappear from constant calendar disruptions. Legendary sweeping corners like Silverstone's Maggots Beckett's Complex or Suzuka's thrilling Degner corners risk being lost forever, diminishing scope for driving talent to shine through intuition and split-second improvisation built over years. Meaningful venue identity fades as drivers endlessly learn new temporary street layouts. Committing the reflex-dependent complexes to muscle memory becomes impossible when the slate wipes clean annually. Engineering dynasties also lose their trusted test benches at risk tracks like Spa-Francorchamps or Interlagos. Yet car development relies on continuity, revolutionary concepts still anchored in incremental gains. Severing ties to the past leaves Formula One drifting directionless. Meanwhile, fan discontent grows. Once loyal supporters sense cynical short-term opportunism has replaced racing purity at the altar of expanded profits. Formula One carved its legends through daring innovation, still respecting traditional venues where legends were born. Gaining new fans is vital for investment, but not at the cost of abandoning the devotees who kept the sport alive during times of crisis. Attempts to commercialize once sacred events like Monaco or Spa, while their demographics may not suit lucrative corporate targets, they give Formula One roots and meaning no Las Vegas party can ever replicate. Liberty Media finds itself at existential crossroads, forced to weigh old commerce against convictions that lend true worth. Their handling of Barcelona may determine whether Formula One flourishes or founders indefinitely. Giving fans a voice. In the battle for F1's soul, the fan voice holds power. Drivers and teams aim to build devoted, knowledgeable supporter bases, fans invested in their success. But the new influx of viewers for Las Vegas or Madrid comes for the event, not the racing. While sponsorship expects growth, even at the cost of disgruntled traditional followers, Christian Horner argues fans can influence the promoter's decisions. Social campaigns save Germany in 2020. A committed fan effort may reverse changes again. F1 must appease fans, old and new, to retain integrity. Promoters court viewers with razzmatazz, but without racing's roots, interest won't last. The voices calling for authenticity and sustainability must be heard. Money talks. F1 is a business, after all, but the biggest names in the pit lane are questioning its new direction. More street races and condensed weekends undermine drivers' skill and engineers' preparations. Meanwhile, axing legendary venues severs links with F1's foundations. Promoters must see fans will not accept unlimited changes. Domenicali is eager to modernize but cannot forget the sport's identity. F1 rose to prominence through daring innovation blended with deep tradition. As the teams, drivers, and fans cry out for authentic racing, the message is clear. The future must balance progress with F1's core values. Take them from the sport, and we risk everything. Formula One stands divided, the old guard of drivers and teams clinging to racing purity as promoters seek revenue through exploited events. Barcelona's potential removal ignited this simmering conflict at the sport's very core. The FIA must acknowledge drivers and constructors make the sport great. Therefore, their misgivings over its future direction require addressing through compromise. Progress need not come at the cost of heritage if all stakeholders unite behind common purpose. Remember to like and subscribe for more F1 analysis. Do you think organizers have taken things too far, or is this commercial boom good for the sport? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the season.